Hi, this is our video lesson on credit cards um, and how credit cards basically get paid off. So I just wanted to show you, this is something called an amortization table. And what it does is it basically shows you how, not only what you're paying each month, but how you're paying it. So in this example, we have a starting balance of $1,000. The annual percentage rate, the APR, is 17%. And I've divided that by 12 to get the monthly rate. And each, you can see, we've made lots and lots of payments over the years. And we're going to talk about how to get this payment amount, which is this is actually the minimum payment. So each payment is actually split up into what we call interest and principal. So interest, as you know, is the amount that a bank would owe you if you put money in the bank. They would pay you interest. When you take a credit card loan, when you put anything on a credit card, you're essentially taking out a loan, and you owe the bank interest if you don't pay off that loan within the first month. So this is actually the interest that you're paying the bank. And then the principal is the money that you're paying that goes towards how much you actually borrowed. So in this example, we paid $1,000. Our first payment, our interest was actually 14 of the total $24 we paid. And only $10 went toward paying off the $1,000. And so we were left with a balance of $990. And I'm going to show you how to construct this table. Okay? So here's how we can construct the table. All right? So let's say I start off with $1,000. That's my starting balance. So in your example, you're going to have to figure out the total amount of your shopping spree. I'm going to use an APR of 17%. I'm actually going to assign your APR based on how much you borrowed and what kinds of items you got. And so therefore, our monthly rate would be the annual percentage rate divided by 12. And we've done that before. There's your monthly rate, which is, I can display this a few decimal places, say 1.41%. Okay, so I have some payments. 1, payment 2, payment 3, payment 4, payment 5, etc. Okay. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to calculate the interest first. All right? So, my interest here equals $1,000 times 1.4167%, because I'm paying, credit card bills get paid monthly, so we're going to use the monthly rate. Okay, and the interest we owe the bank in the first month is $14.17. All right? Now, I could pay the bank as much money as or as little money as I want to, except that there is a minimum payment. So banks don't just say, all right, well, pay us whenever you want. They say, all right, well, if you don't have the money, you're going to have to make what's called a minimum payment. The minimum payment is at least the amount of the interest. So this minimum payment could never be lower than the interest that you owe the bank. And generally, the rule that we're going to use for this, and there are different rules for different credit cards. We're going to use a minimum payment rule, that the minimum payment is the interest plus 1% of the remaining balance, or $15, whichever is greater. So right now, what I want to do is calculate the interest plus 1% of the balance. So for the first month, that's pretty easy. So the interest, this is equaling $1,000 times 1.4167. That's the interest. But I have to add to that 0.01, 1% times the starting balance. So I'm adding 1% of the payment. I'm adding 1% of the balance. And that is the minimum payment. So in that first month, the bank is going to say, here's your minimum payment. In this case, it's $24.17. All right? $14 of that was interest. That's the money that the bank makes off of you. That means out of the $24, $14 goes to interest, and, well, the rest of the money is going to go off to pay pay off the $1,000 you borrowed to begin with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take equals, I'm going to take my payment amount, how much I pay the bank, minus their share, the $14 I owe them in interest, and that means that I paid $10 of my 24 went to pay off the $1,000 that I borrowed, which means my balance is going to equal the 1,000 minus the principal, and that's $990. So now I almost want us to think of this as like a brand new loan. And my brand new loan has a balance of $990 instead of $1,000. Okay. So now I'm not going to be paying interest off $1,000. I'm going to be paying interest off $990. So when I go to my interest column, I'll actually do the interest first, then I'll do the payment amount. My interest is going to equal, well, my monthly rate still, but now times the balance, which is not $1,000 anymore. I paid off $10 of the $1,000. That's $990 now. So now my interest, again, is a little less. It's a little less now. Sort of how when you put money in a bank, the interest accumulates. As I pay a loan off, the interest should lessen. All right? Now, again, my minimum payment. My minimum payment is my interest. So that's my $990 times my monthly rate plus 1% of my balance. And now the balance again is $990. So now my minimum payment, this would be a minimum payment of $23.93. $14.03 was interest. That means the rest of the money is principal. That's the amount that goes off to pay the balance. So I'm going to take my payment amount, subtract off the interest, and $9.90 is left for me to pay off my balance. And so that means if I take $990 and subtract what I paid towards it, I get $980.10. And I'll do this again. So this is going to equal my payment amount. Let's do the interest first. I'm going to take my interest first. So I'm going to do my monthly rate times my balance. Again, I now owe $980.10. So now my interest is $13.88. My payment is equal to the interest, again, which was 1.4167% times the balance plus 0.01 times the balance. So now my payment's a little less. This is my minimum payment. This is for a minimum payment. And my interest was $13.88. So the money that goes toward the principal is the difference between the two. My payment minus the interest, which the bank is taking and put it in its pocket. I get $9.80. And now this equals my balance minus this value. And I get that. Based on this, you should actually be able to calculate your payment amount and your interest and your principal and your balance. You should be able to figure out what these formulas are. Now, there's a little bit of a catch to this. So, what happens eventually is the minimum payment will get below $15, but the bank's not going to let you do that. The bank's going to say, okay, you know what? We want you to pay $15, at least $15. So what happens is when you extend these formulas down, eventually what happens is you will get formulas. So if I extend my formulas down, you'll see this. Eventually what will happen is I'll get $15.22, $15.07, and then eventually you'll get down to just where you really want it to say $15. What you can do in order to do that is create a max formula. So let's say I have these two numbers. I have 20 and 25. You can have the computer calculate the max. So I can say I want the maximum of this value, comma, this value, and it will report back 25. That's called the max function. So as you get to here, you can actually use the max function to say, all right, I want the maximum of your formula or $15. So we're going to look out for that. Okay? So as you construct this, we're going to look out for that. And by the way, over here, this is what we would call, you can make this same sort of amortization table with a consistent payment. So I'm just going to quickly show you that. Say I start with $1,000. My APR was, say, still 17%. I'm going to take that APR and divide by the number of months, 12. Okay? Convert this to a percent so it looks a little nicer. Show a few more decimal places. And let's say my first payment amount, I want my payment now to be $100. So I have enough money in my account that I can make a payment of $100. So before we calculated the minimum payment, now we're making it $100. Interest is still the same calculation. I still owe the bank over this time period. I borrowed $1,000. I'm going to multiply by my monthly rate. But this time I paid $100. So I'm going to have a lot more of this $100, or a lot more money is going to go toward paying off the $1,000. So this is my principal now my money toward the principal is going to be 100 minus the amount that I owe the bank in interest. And now if you notice, I'm paying a lot more of the loan off. In the first example, when I pay the minimum payment, I'm only paying $10 off. Now I'm paying $85 off. So now my balance equals this number minus my principal payment. And now my balance is much lower. It's $914 instead of $990. So we'll just do this again. Let's say I wanted to pay $100 again. My interest is no longer $14.17. It's going to be 1.4167 times my new balance, which is now $12.95. As you can see, the interest is less. Before, my second payment was $14. Now it's only $12.95. And I'm paying another $100. So now I'm doing 100 minus my interest. And now I'm paying $87 toward the balance. And so my new balance is going to be this number minus my 87. So you're going to do this on your spreadsheet. So I'm going to share with you a spreadsheet. All right? You're going to do this on your spreadsheet. And you're going to basically fill out your spreadsheet based on your numbers, based on your shopping spree, based on your APR that I give you, and you're going to then take this little quick assessment based on your numbers. And I will be around to help you guys. All right? I know this video is a lot, so feel free to pause it and go through each piece separately. All right. Good job, guys.